Hi, welcome to Dave's Shop. I'm Dave. On today's episode, we're going to be designing a CNC Lake Map. And what I mean is we're going to take an image from a map and we're going to convert it to a vector that we can carve on the CNC machine. So follow along and I'll show you how we do it.
All right, so I've researched different ways to do this, and the process is basically you have to find a map with the region or the lake that you want to copy or capture, I should say, and use that to turn it into an SVG file. So having said that, I've done some research on YouTube and using Google and seen different ways of doing it. One way I came up with or found that I liked was done by Stone and Timber shop class. Now he had a video out both showing how he did the lake with epoxy and how he actually captured the graphic and made it into a CNC cutout. So his video is called Unlocking the Secret, Learn to Turn a Map into a Stunning CNC Cutout. I'll have a link to it in the description below. It's good to watch it. I'm probably going to do the same type of thing here and just have my version of what he did. So first thing you need to do is you have to find a good map to use as a reference. I've looked at Google Maps. I've looked at a couple other different websites with maps, and the one he used was the USGS map viewer, which basically it shows the world. It's mainly comprised of and updated for the US, but it does have other areas as well. And in my case, I'm interested in a location in Ontario in Canada, and it worked for me, so this is what we're going to use. So first thing to do is I want to zoom into the area I want. So I'm going to zoom in to the lake that I want. And this is the general area. Now, you could capture it this way, but what he suggested is to minimize the coloring of it. So he changes the base map to a light gray canvas. You can try and look at the other ones to see if it would work for you, but he suggested light gray canvas, so that's what I'm going to go with. So you just click on it, it changes the colors, and see it takes out a lot of the other different colors. I can now zoom in a bit. And the next thing I want to do is I want to capture, using a Windows screenshot, the area of the lake that I want. So that's the Windows key, Shift and S all at the same time. And I want to create a capture wide enough. Do it again here. I'm going to create a capture that is wide enough. There, and I can always clean it up when we get to the next program. So there, now I've captured it. It's saved on the clipboard. And from there, we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to open up a program called GIMP. It's a free graphics program, I guess. It's something he used. I haven't experimented with any of the other programs, including anything like Paint or whatever to do the same application. But again, it seems to work for what the intent is. So you can download it free and then install it. And then once you're open, you're going to come here and you're going to paste in. So Control V, paste in your map. So as you can see, we've got quite a bit of an area that we can use, but we only want the lake itself and also the islands. So the first thing he does is can change the water to black. So right now these two boxes here are set to white and black. And if you click here on the corner, it'll move them. We want black. You don't need to click on it. I did, but so you can change the colors if you want. Anyway, so we're going to use it as black. And we want the paint bucket. And we're going to go here to the lake and click on it. And see it changes all the waterways to black. So we don't really need any others because at this point, maybe this one because it feeds it. I don't want the river leaving it down at the end. That looks pretty good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to swap it for the white. And we want to color in white. So there. Now the other thing we want to do is we want to color in all these areas that we want to leave as white. I'll speed this up just to get it done. And periodically you can change back over to let's see, which one was it? Airbrushing, and that just you can fill it in for these little ones. And what you're trying to do is, as he suggests, is you're just trying to create a black and white graphic that will allow you to create a crisp line for the image. Now you got to be careful here, and you can change the size of your brush right here. So let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so I think that's it. So we'll zoom back out. Okay, so the only other one is we want to change, we want to color in the name of the lake as well. So we want to switch back to black. And let's color it in using the spray brush. There. So now we have a good black and white image of our lake and the surrounding land. Okay, so with our image now complete, with the blacks and the whites separating it and creating a good definition, we're going to export it as a JPEG. And then we'll go into the Ventric software. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to import it into my Cut2D desktop program. He actually takes his image into Inkscape and creates it into an SVG after he does a trace on it. I found that I didn't have to do that because in Cut2D and other Ventric software, there is a trace function in it. So having said that, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to create my new file. And my job size, so in this case, I'm going to be using 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to be doing it 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. So let's put that in, 11.5 by 11.5. And it's 1/4 inch. We're going to do our Z0 off of the material surface, and our XY datum point is going to be the lower left or the front corner, left-hand corner, looking at it. So we'll go OK. Okay, so now that we've got the job setup complete, we're going to import the picture. And we're going to enlarge it. Again, you can make it as big as you want on your drawing. And what we'll do is we'll center it. And it seems to be. So now what we want to do is we want to, over here with it selected, and do the trace bitmap. So we're going to leave it defaulted black and white. The threshold is at 0.50. The corner fit is 89% tight. And I think these are just parameters I've used before. I haven't really changed them. Noise filter is at 1 pixel. Bitmap fading is at 52%. And the group to vectors. So hit preview. There you go. And that's exactly what we want. So hit apply. And then close when it's done. And then if you come up here to layer, you can see you've got two layers now. You've got your bitmap layer and a secondary layer. So the bitmap layer, if you click on the light bulb, it'll turn a layer off. This is our bitmap that we brought in. If we turn the layer on and then turn off the bitmap, there is the vector we want to carve. So with that the way it is, now we can set up our toolpaths. So I'm going to use two different bits here. I'm going to use a 1/8 bit first so we can get most of it cut out, and then we'll switch over to a 1/16 bit to cut the remainder. So first thing I want to do is I want to ungroup the vectors. And now that allows me to pick them individually. With the perimeter of the lake selected, we're going to generate our first toolpath. So we're going to do a profile. And we're going to leave the cut depth as 0.253. So it's just going to go through the material. I'm going to select a 1/8 end mill. And we're going to go on the inside of the line because we want to take the material away from the lake and not the shoreline. We do want to add tabs. So that's a good size. And let's add 4 tabs for now. Okay. And again, we're just trying to hold it secure so we can do the cutting. Okay, we'll call that first cut profile. Let's change it, lake profile. And 0.125. Sorry. Yes, 125. Calculate. And it says it's going to cut through. We're going to go OK. And And there's our profile. So we'll close that. Now, while we've got the same bit in, we want to cut around the islands. Actually, let's leave the islands for now. We're not going to do this little one, so we can delete it. It's just going to be too small to get some definition on. But we do want to include the larger ones here. So let's select the 4 islands, holding the Shift key and click on each one. And we're going to do a pocket again, or sorry, a profile again. And let's go with the 1/16 bit. And we're going to do it on the outside of the islands. We do want to add tabs, and we want 2 for each one. Okay. And then we'll calculate that. Save the name, so 2 island profiles. And that's going to be a 0.0625. Calculate. And of course it's going to say it's going to cut through, and we're okay with that. And now we'll run it. There you go. There's all our little islands cut. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to recut the outside plus this little one over here. As well. So again, a profile. We're going to leave the 1/16. Add the tabs. And call it Lake Profile 0.0625. We'll calculate it. And we'll run it. There. So that cuts it out and gives us a little bit cleaner view of the lake itself in the little back bay. And the only thing left to do, close this out, go back to our view. Make sure you save your file. So File, Save As, and give it a name. And we also want to save the toolpaths. So again, just highlight each one and click to save. And utilize the name that's there. And we'll go in the order of 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll set that up on the CNC and we'll cut them out.
Well, that's how you design the CNC Lake Map vector. Join us next time when we'll take the design over to the CNC machine and we'll actually carve it out. Until then, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.